Welcome to episode 13.75 of the Formidable Genealogist Studio, because I already have stuff scheduled out, but I wanted to get some live stuff while I'm here at NGS in Fort Wayne and National Genealogical Society, in case you're not familiar with the acronym. This is Brian Rhinehart, and you see him often in videos from conferences because I always try to talk to him about records that he can pull from the National Archives in DC through his company, CivilWarRecords.com.
Yes.
So let's go through what you can get there, because
a
lot of people are confused. Like, can you just walk in there and do it yourself? Do you need to get him to do it? What are our options?
You could do both. If you want to go to the National Archives in Washington, D.C. and get the records, you can do it. You don't need to make an appointment. You can go there. It's free to access the records. There is a little bit of a learning curve, though. So you need to know what you're looking for when you get there, which could be a little bit of a challenge. That's the advantage of hiring a private researcher who knows what they're doing. They can get you the records. They know what to look for.
Mm-hmm. How often do you go?
I'm there at least once a month.
Okay.
I also have team members that are there almost every day when I'm not there. When I'm here, like at conferences, promoting the business, they are there scanning records for people.
Mm-hmm. Let's walk through what you can expect when you go there. Like you said, I mean, you can make an appointment, but you don't have to.
Right.
What happens when you walk in the door?
When you walk in the door, the staff there are very nice, very friendly. They are very accustomed to getting brand new people that walk in every day, multiple times a day. So that can be a little bit intimidating to walk into this government building in the middle of Washington, D.C. and be like, I don't know what I'm doing. That's fine. You're not supposed to know what you're doing if you've never been there before. The staff there, as soon as you walk in, there's a desk there there's the main desk that you have to check in with, and they'll probably ask you, what are you looking for? They're going to help you point you in the right direction.
Mm-hmm. And then I tried to pull some records there a few years ago, and then I had to walk through like a training video.
You did it in person?
I did.
Okay.
And then I had to go through the training video and then get my researcher
a researcher card.
card.
Yeah.
But you can do that training ahead of time.
Yeah, you can go
I know
online.
you've been going long enough, you haven't had to do that.
I haven't done it in years.
Right.
But you can do training online, which is going to speed up your process once you get there.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
And then you fill out a form with your requested record.
Yeah, there's
and
pull
then they
slips.
Pull it. Yeah.
Kind of a misconception that you cannot, it's not like a library where you could just browse the shelves. You have to fill out a slip. It's called a pull slip. Any document that you want to see, you have to fill it out, give it to the staff, and they will bring it to you. Mm-hmm. Which, when I go there, my stack of pull slips sometimes are literally like 6 inches high from all the client work that I do.
Yeah, so you can do that yourself, but most of us can't just hop to DC anytime. So I wanted to walk through what Brian can pull for you, what's even available. So CivilWarRecords.com. And he has a lot of explanations on his website explaining exactly how to go through the process. But so your most requested record is probably the Union Civil War pension packets, right?
Yes, Union Civil War records in general, but I guess, the pension file is probably the one thing that the most requested file that I get, yeah.
What's the difference? What are the other Civil War files that you can pull?
There's literally tons of records for Civil War related at the National Archives. The 3 records that I suggest people start with that we normally pull from the National Archives from, it's going to be the pension file, the compiled military service records, and then the carded medical records. If you get all 3 of those, you've got a pretty good overview of what your soldier was doing. That's a good place to start.
So I'm very familiar with the Union pension packets, because those can sometimes be sometimes they're 20 pages, sometimes they can be 300 pages, and it's got all of this information and the widow applying for the pension after the soldier has died. But what are the other files that you mentioned?
The pension file, but then there's the compiled military service records. You may have seen these. Some of these are online, not all of them. They're the long rectangular cards, and they go kind of month by month, and they tell you what the soldier was doing. Were they present when the muster was taken? Had they been captured, transferred? Were they killed, injured? Did they desert? Any number of scenarios there. most likely will be referenced in those service records. If the enlistment papers still exist, they're going to be in there, which is really cool because you get to hold, like I've held these for my ancestors. I'm like, this is the same paper that he held when he signed up for the Civil War, and I'm holding it in my hand like that.
That's awesome.
As another genealogist, you know, we all speak the same language here. We know what a feeling that is. That
We all
to
nerd
hold
out
that.
about it.
Yes, yes. It's one of those kind of like goosebump moments of
It
like,
is.
I just feel like I'm being transported back in time.
Right.
So those could be in there. Documentation of prisoner of war, any number of things could possibly be in there.
Yeah, and that's an important point, is you don't know exactly what you're going to get on any of these files because everybody's different.
Yeah.
You can expect like the standard form for whatever it is, but beyond that, any proof they provided, affidavits,
So
who
I'm
knows?
going to work on a Forrest Gump quote in the middle of a Civil War talk here.
Yeah,
But people ask me, what's going to be in this file? Life is like a box of chocolates. You never know what you're going to get.
Yeah.
That's what I talk about with these pension files, with the service records. I don't know what's going to be in there. Standard things will typically be in there, but you never know what you're going to find in there.
right. Sometimes like Bible, family Bible
Yes,
pages.
I have found pages from the family Bible. I found only once ever an actual family Bible in the file. It was one of those little pocket ones.
Yeah.
They mailed the entire family Bible in. It was in the file, so I've never seen that before, but it was pretty cool.
Yeah, imagine doing that and you'll just never get it back. Like, it's amazing.
Yeah, so that's, I think about that, so one of my great uncles unfortunately did not survive the war, and there was a letter in the pension file that he had written home to his mom. His mom included it in the pension application, and it's still in there. And I felt like this poor lady never got this letter back from her son, but fortunately for me, I was able to read that and hold that and see his own words. So
Yeah.
it's definitely unfortunate for her, but as a genealogist, it was kind of glad to see it.
Yeah, buried treasure.
Yeah.
So, beyond the Union Civil War records, what else is like the second most popular thing that you're asked to pull?
For the Civil War,
For any record that you can get from Archives One.
so I get a lot of requests for federal land records as well.
Yeah, he pulled some for me.
Yeah, I did just recently.
Yep.
The federal land records covers a broad spectrum there as well. You can get, if your ancestor was a homesteader, there's going to be a homestead packet. They got military bounty land. Most likely there will be packets of information about that. Any number of categories of federal land. But I think I got some bounty warrants for you, didn't I?
Yeah.
Just for one of your ancestors recently. He was a War of 1812 soldier, if I remember
Yep.
right.
Living in Pennsylvania for
Yeah.
bounty land in Minnesota.
Yeah, yes. And so I don't know if you remember that, is a really big, colorful certificate from the 1850s. I didn't even know they did those in the 1850s. I didn't
Yeah.
know they had technology to create these big, ornate, colorful certificates, but that's what they did.
And I have a question too on the homestead records. Anything that was denied, any applications, are the denied ones still in there too, or things that were not all the way completed?
Yes, so they are. Those
Okay.
are harder to find.
All right.
Okay, so on the Bureau of Land Management website, the database, they have all these transactions indexed. They only have, for the homestead, they only have the ones indexed that were actually completed.
Okay.
There were a lot of people who started the homestead process but didn't finish, but they still filled out the initial paperwork. It's still on file, but those are not indexed in that database.
Okay.
They're really difficult to know if they even exist. And you have to look at the track books, which sometimes are online, but sometimes only at the National Archives. It's really kind of tedious to find, but yes, they are on file there.
And I should have mentioned this when we were talking about the Union Civil War stuff. Somebody will ask if they can get Confederate pensions there, because you get that question all the time, and the
Yeah.
answer is
Yeah, you can't. And it's not because of any kind of discrimination from the archives, not that I am biased and choosing not to work with Confederates, simply a matter of logistics. Because the Confederate records, technically the Confederacy didn't even consider themselves to be part of the U.S. The National Archives is the federal repository for the United States records. The National Archives never had the Confederate records to begin with, so they don't have them now. So you need to go look at the state archives for Confederate pensions.
And that was filed not from where they served, right, but where they were living at the time.
Yeah, it could be
right?
the same place, but
Right.
yeah. If your soldier was from Alabama and moved to Georgia after the war, check in Georgia, because that's where he was living after the war. Yeah.
So what are the other files that you can pull besides that, now that we've covered the homestead stuff and the Union Civil War stuff?
Civil War and the federal land records are the two big ones, but I always say if it's a soldier from the 1800s, it can probably help you out.
Yeah.
That includes the War of 1812, Mexican War, Indian War, Spanish-American Wars. There are a lot of the records that we just talked about exist for these other wars as well. Pension records, bounty land records. Bounty land, the records there cover wars from 1790 to 1855. So that does not include the Revolutionary War, it does not include the Civil War, but those wars in between, they may have been eligible to get bounty land, so you can check for those. Service records, bounty land applications. There's a lot of records out there for these soldiers.
And I wanted to point out too that you can order this stuff directly from the National Archives, but he's faster and less expensive, and in my experience having done both, it's much better quality. The stuff I had ordered directly from the National Archives was black and white copies, and his stuff is digitized color.
We take our scanners there, you get high resolution, full color scans. Average turnaround time, assuming there's no issues getting the records, 3 to 4 weeks, as opposed to, I guess I don't know for sure how long the archives take, but
I had one that took like over a year.
So I don't want to speak on their behalf. I'll let you do that from your experience, but I do believe that our service is quicker than them. So
yeah, that was like right kind of towards the tail end of COVID. So that was why, but typically in a normal processing time, it's taken about 2 to 3 months for me to get it back. So.
I've heard that, but I've never ordered from them, so I don't really know. I do it all myself. But I've heard that a regular time frame for them.
Yeah. So cool. What's your favorite record to pull?
The Civil War pension files probably have, you mentioned that they could be big files. Average size about 120 pages is my experience.
Okay.
Because you never know what you're going to get in there, sometimes you pull out these letters that were written home, like you said, pages from the family Bible.
Yep.
You can read these stories of, I've heard some amazing stories in there of just really interesting details about, sometimes about how they met their wife. You know, they wrote that in there of who married them or what they did when they got home from the war, their life after the war. You get medical records, which I always say, be careful what you want to know, because these are medical records that, interesting stuff in there, we'll just leave it at that. But
oh no, I'm going to say it. Everyone had diarrhea.
Well, that's you can say that.
Yeah.
I'll just leave it at the fact that I've seen a lot worse.
Yeah,
so,
right.
So, yeah, things that were supposed to be remain private, they're now public records.
Right.
So.
One of the most interesting things I found in one was this huge story about how somebody was left for dead. It's my husband's third great grandfather, was left for dead, face down in a puddle, and found about 24 hours later.
And this is your favorite story? This is bad.
I know. Well, it was like the most interesting one. It was like I did not expect to find that, because he actually went on to live a long life, but there was this harrowing story in here about like a wagon was about to run over him, and that's how they found him in the puddle. Like he started to flinch or something.
Wow.
They thought he would have drowned in this puddle with his feet.
Wow.
I don't know. There's just amazing stuff in these.
Yeah, and those files. So I'm going to ask you.
Yeah.
I said they can vary in size. What do you think? Take a guess. What's the largest pension file you think that I've seen? Page numbers.
I mean, I've personally seen a 300, and you've been doing this a long time. I'm going to say 500.
Double it.
Seriously?
1,000 pages, yeah. I
Oh
had
my
one that was 1,000 pages long. Yeah. Yeah, we had fun with that on my Facebook page. When I saw it, I posted a picture of it and said, guess how many pages this is, and I'll let you know when I'm finished. And there was a lot of, it was like, if I remember, like 1,087 pages long.
Wow.
It came in 5 envelopes. There was some kind of, I didn't read through the whole thing, I didn't have time.
No.
But some kind of issue of whether or not the divorce from the first wife was finalized before he married the second wife, and who was the lawful widow. So all the investigation took 1,000 pages. So somebody hit the jackpot. That was a client project.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow. I can't imagine. Cool. Well, thanks for joining me here and helping us spread the word about what you can actually get that is offline, because I wish somebody would have sat me down and explained that to me when I first started researching.
You know, and you started out by asking how can people like maybe prepare to go?
Yeah.
My website. If you go to my website, there's a link that says free stuff. Go on there. There's a downloadable PDF document you can get for free. It's got links to all these indexes, to all the different wars. Check it out. You may find your soldier in there. You can go get the records yourself if you find them, or contact me through my website, civilwarrecords.com, and we can help you get them too.
All right. Thanks.
All right, thanks.